So there I am watching MD fish tanks in a completely normal way, cheering him on as he puts together these aquascapes, and I'm admiring all of his woodworking there. Woodworking? That's not the right word. Well, you know what I mean. And then I started watching George Farmer's older videos about all the low maintenance aquascapes with a lot of epiphyte plants. Now this one isn't his particularly, but he has a lot of this stuff on his channel. And that got me to thinking, maybe I want to do a low maintenance aquascape. So this tank just isn't doing it for me anymore. I mean, it's a beautiful tank and it's actually my most stable tank, and I don't have to scrape the glass. I don't get any algae. The mollies take care of everything. It's literally hands-free except for trimming. And these plants have to be trimmed every single week, and then I got to find somewhere to put them, and that's why I have the grow out tank, etc., etc. But what I want to do is make this still a beautiful aquascape, but something different. Add some wood, add a little more interest to it, right? It's kind of, I don't know, Dutch style-ish right now with some rocks in the middle. So I want to give it a little more interest, and we're going to convert it over to a lower maintenance tank with low maintenance, slow growing plants. Now, this may turn into an algae issue, but I think the mollies are going to take care of it, and we're going to put some snails back in there. So we're going to give it a shot. Why not change it up? You know, if you're bored with your tank and you've got other stuff laying around, especially if you have 10 tanks like I do now, you always have something you can switch around. But the next step is to get the poor mollies out of there, drain some water, and start pulling all these plants out. Do you guys really need to see footage of me taking plants out? I don't know. I'll give you a quick clip. Ah yeah, was that satisfying or what? That's all you're gonna get, guys. You don't need to see me take all of these plants out, really, do you? Although I will say, my substrate is working fantastic, which is why we're keeping it when we do this rescape, because root growth here was tremendous. Plants are out, shrimp is out. Now we're just gonna pull the rocks in the Anubias. We will be reusing the Anubias here. It's a seasoned substrate. It's got lots of bacteria, lots of nutrients in there, and it should be a good basis for us to start our new plants that we're putting in. Look at the roots on that Anubias, guys. It's literally holding the two rocks together. If you're an OG of the channel from way back when, you remember when I bought this fluorite, and I did not like it at all, the Seachem substrate, just because of the coloring. I went ahead and got some fluorite dark, which is more of like a gray, natural, gray-brown kind of color. You'll see it in the tank after we get some hardscape stuff set up, but you notice I've scraped away from the side so that I can put the fluorite dark in and just kind of change the look of this tank. But I'm going to maintain our very nutrient-based substrate right here in the middle. So let's get our hardscape, show you what we're working with. I don't even know if this is going to fit in the tank. All right, here's what we're working with. When I was down at the local fish store, I grabbed some of this elephant stone, or elephant skin stone, sorry, and it is pretty cool stuff. So we're going to try and use that. It's kind of a natural gray-brown. It should match the substrate pretty well. And then I have a couple pieces of wood here. This one I got from the fish shop, and it's wet because I was testing them in the bathtub. It already sinks, which is fantastic. These I've collected from nature, and they don't sink, and so we're going to have to glue those on. I already kind of have a little bit of a plan, and I'm not going to show you the whole scaping process, right? I got to try and figure out where these are going to sit and fit. I'll give you some keynotes as I get some things in the tank, but this should go pretty quick for your viewing pleasure. I'm going to go ahead and get some fluorite dark in here, just where it's going to be showing around the edges. That way, as I'm manipulating the hardscape, it's not going to push this all back down into the corner. Okay, your lighting might be a little dim here because I had to take the clip-on light off of the tank so I can get this stuff in here. Let's see if our signature piece of wood even fits in this 10-gallon. Not with our pipe work. All right, we're gonna have to snip this little part of the wood off. All right, I'll be back. All right, I moved the pipe work here, and that gave me a little more space. I can get it physically in the tank, but it's not going to sit right. We're not going to be able to move it around to scape. So I'm going to cut this chunk off here on the end, and that should give us more space to maneuver this around. We'll have another piece of wood here. We can either use in this scape or another one, but don't be afraid to cut your hardscape up. All right, again with the lighting, but let's see if you guys get the gist of this. So here's kind of how the original piece looked. I took my chainsaw and I cut this portion off here, right? But it still looked kind of man-made or cut. So I took this little sliver off there, and then I just tapped my chainsaw with a low speed on this here to just kind of tatter up the edge. And now that should give it kind of more of a natural look to the edge there, as opposed to just a cut. So we'll see how this goes. I didn't film any chainsawing because, well, I don't think aquascaping and chainsawing goes together very well. And now our piece will fit into our 10-gallon and we can move it around and kind of get it where we want it. All right, let me play around with this and come up with the configuration. All right, I kind of like that. The smaller stone here may be a little out of place, but I'm keeping the striation lines kind of all going the same. Same with this one here. You can't see it from your angle. Let me get you at my angle here. There, so dead on. I just wanted this stone kind of poking out, not too, too bold. We're going semi-triangular. Maybe this is more islandscape now. I don't know. I'm just putting stuff in until I think it looks good. Tell me if you think it looks good. But I do like the way I have this kind of U going on, this kind of U shape with the rocks as you're looking at it. Now, I had originally wanted to use this piece because it actually fits on this piece of wood, but as you see, it's too big and I can't use it. I don't really want to break it, so I might use it in another scape. But I have this piece, and right now with one piece of wood in here, it looks kind of meh, like not very natural, and we're trying to go kind of cool and natural, right? So what if we take this piece, make it look like all these little pieces of wood have broken and fallen in, right? Stick this guy in right there. What do you guys think about that? Creates like a real dark shadow. Sorry for the reflections, guys. Nice dark shadow in there. I think it looks kind of cool. We can get it positioned right. Gives us like a little planting area kind of right back in here that'll hold all of our semi-rooted plants. Is that even right? Semi-rooted epiphyte. No, that's not going to work. You know what I mean. We're going to be putting in some Java fern in here. I have an idea which type. And I'm thinking, yeah, that looks good. I'd like to get this piece butted up just a little bit more. Just so this tip is kind of butted up against this notch, and this tip is butted up against this knot in the wood here. You probably can't see. I'm going to change the camera angle. So we got this one here. Just kind of nice little cup area in there. I think I'm going to go for it. I think that looks good, natural. We're taking up a lot of space, but we only got 3 mollies in here. What do you guys think about another stone here? That's too big, huh? Another stone here, maybe? Yay? Nay? All right, fiddling around with it, fiddling around. Then I ended up just flipping it on its side. Boom, there it is. What do you think? I think it just finishes it off. I didn't like the rock, this rock here. I didn't like it just kind of cut off there. Now I do have to fill some substrate in, but I think just this little rock gives it just a little bit, just a little something, something. I'm gonna get the rest of this fluorite put in here, And then I think hardscape done. Little cheater preview here. While I was gluing these two sticks together, I realized, well, I've got the super glue there. I might as well cover it up now while it's still wet and get a plant in there. So this is a Bucephalandra brownie, I do believe, that I picked up today. The aquascaping rule of the slope. Gotta have your slope, right? Higher in the back, lower in the front. All that perspective stuff, yeah? Do you think we need another piece of wood in this area here? Does that look too plain? Do we want to see through the rock, or do we want to like stick a piece of wood in here? Something like that. Does that look better? Worse? I don't know. Either way, you're not going to be able to make the decision for me because you're going to see this video after I've already decided. But I don't know. What do you guys think? What about that? Just like a little something out there. I'm thinking maybe, yeah, huh? Leave me a comment. Let me know whether you would have put that piece of wood in or not. Looking at it from the top here, you can see I'm going to nestle it in there. I'm going to have to do more gluing. But it kind of fits. It fits just everywhere. I think it just fits, guys. We're going to leave it in. Do the comment thing. All right, let's go over the initial plants that I got for this scape. We have a couple of tissue cultures here, as you see. I've not had fantastic luck with tissue cultures, but hopefully in a seasoned tank over here, maybe it'll do a little bit better. These are also very hardy epiphytes, and they seem to do pretty good in a tissue culture. So we have some Anubias Nana Golden. I've got 3 pots of this. This is kind of like petite, but a brighter green color. So there's 3 of those. We have some S. repens, Staragani repens, if you want to be really artsy-fartsy. So S. repens here. I've failed horribly at S. repens the last time I used it. I used it in the Wallstad, and it didn't take root. It grew straight up like a weed, and then it just started melting all crazy. So we're going to give this a shot again. 2 kind of carpet or foreground pots there. And then we have, you saw a little teaser, I already used some of this, but we have some Bucephalandra Brownie Purple. Should be really cool. It's a very small leaf one. Going to be a foreground plant as well. Foreground, mid-ground. It's a 10 gallon, so we can kind of put it in the mid-ground. These were some potted plants that I bought, and I've, of course, already cleaned them, as you can see. We have Cryptocorin Nuri, which is kind of a browning, purpley. I know my lighting's not great here, guys. This room is really bad for lighting. I apologize. I do have my studio light or whatever, but it's not that great either. Anyway, we have a beautiful little plant here. This was locally grown by another aquarist, a local hobbyist. So that's cool, supporting another hobbyist. We bought it from, well, the shop bought it from them, and we bought it from the shop. So everybody made money. Next up, we've got a Java Fern Lace. We're going to be using just the top lacy parts here, and then I'm going to save the main rhizome and put it in my grow out tank and grow more of it. We have a really cool plant, Hygrophila compacta. And I've seen MD fish tanks use this, and I'm always like, man, that's a cool little plant. A new type of Anubias for me. This is Anubias hastifolia, or hastifolia, not sure. Another another potted plant that we got, and I've cleaned. Roots are fantastic on this. It's going to go probably in the back corner over there somewhere. And then we have our Anubias that we pulled out of this tank. Beautiful, beautiful Anubias. This Barteri, or Barteri, however you guys like to say it. I say Barteri. We got a lot of that. It's going to be great. I have some other options for plants I might pull out of other tanks, but for now, let's get this stuff in there. I'm going to do a very quick kind of montage of this plant in, but only one of each group, and you'll see the result at the end, okay? Save some time. All right, let's get some water in here so you guys can actually see, because with the reflections and my dirty glass and all of that, you can't see anything. But let's fill it up, see what this aquascape really looks like. All right, we got it filled up. I dropped some API AccuClear in there, not sponsored, and cleared the water up for you. Are you guys ready for your cinematics? Alright guys, I did a little bit different outro this time, just more tank. Really, I am happy with this one. Thanks for watching. Please leave your comment, let me know what you think about the tank, and I will catch you guys on the next video.